Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the RedBeard Podcast. Some stuff on the docket for today. We're going to be talking about Tide Pods. What's the deal with Tide Pods? Why are people eating them? Is there a reason behind why people are eating freaking Tide Pods? It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about it. Also, the trailer for Replicas starring Keanu Reeves just dropped. So we're going to talk about the trailer, what we think, if we are ready to see Keanu Reeves in another awesome movie. I am. Also, Greatest American Hero has a reboot coming on ABC, cast as Hannah Simone as the lead. Also, Michael Fassbender is going to be starring in the Kung Fury full-length movie. And last but not least, unfortunately, I've been reading a lot about the 2018 film The Predator, which is set to come out in August, and what that movie looks like and what it's about. And all I'll say as of now is that when I found out what was going on with this film, I wanted to slit my wrist with a spoon. But yeah, we'll get to it and stick around. All this and more on
the RedBeard Podcast.
Yes.
RedBeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Jim Kelly, what's going on, my friend?
Not a whole lot. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. You sound like a wicked professional in that response.
We were just replaying our voices and how we sound on the podcast. I really didn't realize how nasally I sound.
It's just the thing, man. You know, you got good projection, I guess, in your nasal cavity. So, I don't know.
No one ever gets beat up by a guy with this voice.
People say you sound like Artie Lang. I don't know, man. So, Ren, what's going on?
Hello to you.
Hello to you, too.
Hello to you. I'm wearing a beanie today. I'm feeling very butch.
I didn't know that you were a Boston Bruins fan.
Hell yeah, I am.
Hell yeah.
I got the hips. I like to check boys into walls and shit. Love hockey. They have the fucked up noses and the longer hair. I'm into the longer hair.
All right, cool. I know what you're talking about. So, Cooley, how you doing?
Yo, I'm great.
Yeah, man, chilling.
Great.
Man, how was your day, man?
Oh my god.
Yo,
ain't
nobody want to hear about my fucked up day, man.
I want to hear about it.
Let's be real. Let's be real right now. Let's talk about how nobody wants to hear how I had to get fucking Botox injected in the back of my head, then go to Walgreens and pick up lidocaine, which is a fucking anesthesia anesthetic that they use at the dentist.
Yeah.
Right? To numb up your jaw. You know that shit that makes your face feel like it just isn't there for like 8 hours?
Yeah.
Like I had to pick that shit up
Yeah.
because now I have to lay on my bed, hang my head upside down, let it like hang in like an L shape, drip that fucking shit down my nose, tilt my head so that it hits the left side of my brain so that it numbs the trigeminal and occipital nerve on the left side of my head and numbs that shit so that it doesn't feel like it's there and give me a fucking headache.
Yeah, because you get cluster headaches, apparently.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
cool.
which feels like I'm passing a kidney stone through my fucking face.
And you told me today an interesting fact. What percent of the population has this?
Yo, this shit pissed me the fuck off. One.
Yeah, it's like the
1%.
most painful thing on earth, apparently.
Yo, 1 fucking percent of the population on the planet, not just the population of Rhode Island, 1% of the population on the planet has cluster headaches.
Yeah, I don't.
And I'm one of them.
No, definitely. Yeah, that sucks, man. I hear you.
Next week will be better.
Oh, I'm also getting an oxygen tank.
Yep.
Like sleep apnea
Jim,
thing,
I
or-
No, like
I
legit,
saw
like one
it,
of those
I
things
waited.
that fucking people with C. diff carry around.
Oh my god.
Jim,
Yeah.
can you
Holy
please
shit.
just tell me what went through your head? Because I saw it all in your face, man.
No, I legit felt bad about saying next week will be better because it's not gonna be.
Oh my god. I'm not
as
so
soon as
good.
you said oxygen tank, you went, oh, and then all of a sudden you started laughing.
So you need air. So what does it feel like today? Does it feel like you're breathing in like a JetBlue convertible airplane?
Oh my god.
No, like today I'm good because of the giant egg that's sitting in the back of my head, which I can show you guys later. But yeah, there's like a lump in my head that is full of like this stuff that kind of blocks the nerve. So I don't feel anything right now over there. It's great. But when that goes away, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if the cycle is going to be over or... I mean, the cycle usually is like 2 headaches a day, like 1 in the morning, 1 at night. But lately, I've been getting 4 or 5 of these bitches like every fucking day.
Jesus, man.
So it's just been like, it's been brutal.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I feel bad because I literally never get headaches. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is like the movie Unbreakable. It's like I'm Bruce Willis and you're Mr. Glass. That there's like an opposite to my perfection.
Yo, here's something I can tell you. Like, Tony knows about this because, like, I have to excuse myself from time to time to actually inject like this like stuff into my leg. That
you have to like go into the room and like take out your med kit like the Predator and fucking stab yourself.
Yeah, like
which we'll get to that, by the way.
Tony knows about that. But I think I feel pretty proud of myself that not everybody knows about this shit because I don't talk about it.
They will now.
It's been over 20 years that I've been dealing with this shit on a near daily basis, and I am gonna say I am pretty proud that I haven't like been like all over that shit.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I hope you feel better, man, because that sucks. But let's get into this, man. This is something else that is plaguing the country or has been for the past couple weeks, month, whatever.
Over 1% of the country.
Yeah, so definitely, man, Tide Pods. People are eating Tide Pods. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of.
Excuse me, but this just dawned on me because of what Jim said. More people are eating Tide Pods than have fucking cluster headaches.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that people are actually eating detergent and thinking there are going to be no consequences. So, but listen, man, I want to really get into this. I found this very interesting, right? So, like, why are people actually eating Tide Pods? Do you guys have any idea? Like, there's actually there's some research behind why this is a thing.
Is it because they look yummy?
That's part of it. They're colorful, they're attractive, but also when you pick them up, they're actually soft. And it sounds ridiculous. It really does, man. But I was reading an article about this, and scientists we're doing a lot of studies, and they're saying that back in the day, like caveman era, is that you would actually pick up like a fruit because it was bright colors, and you would hold it in like plums or oranges or things like that. They were actually soft. So over time, you would actually be drawn to those and know that they were okay to eat. So over time, like evolution, like that's how our brains have been developed to be attracted to bright colors and things like that. So the fact that they're soft and bright, people are like have this instinct, like maybe they want to know what it actually tastes like, right? And some of these people are actually giving into that urge and actually being like, you know what, I'm going to try it. And obviously you don't eat detergent because it's a poison, right? But and it became this joke, right? Where, Tide Pods, like hashtag Tide Pods, like eat a Tide Pod. And like everybody was actually doing it. And I think because of that, people are just jumping on the bandwagon.
It's good to
be
know
a part of this whole thing. And I just think it's ridiculous. But if you look at the science of it, it's pretty interesting, actually.
Yo.
And you said you knew something about this, or what this was leading up to.
Yes.
Was I on point, or do you want to add something to that?
You're pretty close.
Okay.
So Tide Pods came out in 2012.
Yeah.
And like 3 years later is when The Onion posted an article about like a fake article about the kid trying to eat Tide Pods. And there'd been a bunch of memes in circulation where it was like the forbidden candy. And it's like the little bath beads that are the gel ones on the back of like women's toilets and Tide Pods. And it's like all poisons that look like they're candy and you shouldn't eat, but like people want to eat because they look yummy. Mm-hmm. So there were all these memes going around. And this year there were like college humor last year there were college humor videos that came out and kids were like, oh my God, Tide Pod challenge. And it's something like readily available. If your mom buys Tide, there's going to be a free Tide Pod on it. Like there's 2 Tide Pods in my laundry room now. And yeah, it's just like the psychology of the brain going like, oh, it's a giant gusher, stick it in your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it says right here, it says in a study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, experts argued that because of evolutionary psychology, humans are inherently drawn to glossy items, which stems from the desire for water as a resource. So they dismissed the hypothesis that the reason we prefer glossy things is simply because they're pretty, and ruled out an explanation that we are simply socialized into preferring glossy items. So the sleek and shiny seals of the Tide Pods make us instinctively attracted to them, and it's hard to argue with that, really. I mean, it's very true, but there's a psychology behind it, which makes this whole thing interesting to me. The other thing about this whole Tide Pod thing that interests me is that it's been such a weird thing in the news and been so all over social media and causing such a fuss that there is a law that is trying to be passed, which they want to actually get Tide to make the Tide Pods look less appetizing. That's actually the law they want to pass. So they're trying to get these things to look less colorful and bright so that people actually aren't.
Yo, do you like Brussels sprouts?
Yeah, I do.
I fucking hate Brussels sprouts.
I didn't like them, but it depends how they're made, actually.
But Brussels sprouts are appetizing to you. If you look at them and you say, I'd fuck up some Brussels sprouts, right?
Yeah, but they taste like shit.
I can't stand them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they changed the look of Tide Pods. Who's to say that there's not going to be a group of people that find those fucking things appetizing? You know what I'm saying? And the other people that liked them before stop liking them.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, the whole Tide Pod thing is ridiculous. But I mean,
they need to be made with need to put like fucking spikes in them.
Yeah.
This is like when antifreeze used to taste good to
I
children.
I was thinking the same thing the other day.
And then they just changed the taste of antifreeze so kids would go, yuck. And then you take them to the hospital and pump their stomach and everything is fine. But I kind of feel like Tide Pods can't be delicious. Like no one's biting into a Tide Pod and being like, sour apple. Like it's
Yeah, well,
No,
nobody.
but they used to sell antifreeze in like a Kool-Aid jug, like really.
Yeah.
Like it used to be in a fucking like a Sunny Delight jug, and it was like bright green, and so it looked like lime green, like juice.
Animals would actually die from that. Like cats and shit would actually like lick up antifreeze because it was sweet and it was like a poison, and that's the cat dies. But I mean, it's in animals with dogs, anything they would find like one of the ways that they actually would say, oh, if you're trying to kill like a raccoon or like possums, like leave a little bowl of antifreeze out. You know what I mean? And they'll come over and it's got like a sweet kind of smell taste to it, and they would drink it and die. I mean, it's an awful way for an animal to go, but people would use that as a way to kind of get rid of.
Would it like melt their insides and shit?
Yeah, something like that. It's fucking awful, man. It's the worst thing to do to it's like giving friggin' Alka-Seltzer to a seagull, man. It's gross. But anyway, I mean that's all I really want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Tide Pods anymore. But that was something that I just had to get out there and get your hear your opinions on. So
Word.
With that being said, Ren, I'm going to jump over to you because Replicas, the trailer for the movie premiered or was just dropped, and starring your man crush Keanu Reeves.
My boy.
Yeah. So how do you feel about this movie? Like, I thought the trailer was cool, but I want to hear your thoughts.
So it does look super cool. It's just like, oh, is he a scientist? I'm assuming so. He's got an adorable family. And then they're like, oh, here's a sick turn. His family died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So they're cloning the family, but then they show the robots, and the robots are really sentient. And I'm like, are they human clones or are they skinned robots?
That's the one thing that I didn't understand either, because he's like working on the robot, but then at the same time he says like that kid from Silicon Valley that's in all
Thomas
the Verizon commercials now, that it has become more and more annoying to me. I loved him in Silicon Valley, but now every time I see a Verizon commercial, I want to like scream. But no, I mean he even says, he goes, this is why they banned cloning for reasons like this. So yeah, is it like a human clone or is it a robot with like a synthetic skin on it? It's really interesting, and it's kind of Matrix-esque because they pull him out of this like pod, and they're all got this goo all over them. I'm like, okay, what's the deal? It's kind of Westworld-ish too to me.
It's pretty Westworld-ish. I'm super curious as to what's actually going on in the film. Is he banging a robot wife? Does he have robot children?
Probably.
And it seems like he's trying to cover up his entire scheme by cloning other people and just killing off the people who are on his lead is what I think it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting where she walks into the room in the trailer and she goes, tell me everything. And he's like, there was a crash. And it's just like, what?
Well, it's the wife walks in on him experimenting on his own child. And she's like, what the fuck is going on, dog?
Yeah. I think at that point, he was trying to actually take like the mind of the person and move them over to this new body where they actually have no idea that anything had ever happened. It's just like life continues.
Right.
You know, it's like you finding out that like you died 2 years ago and you're in this weird body. Like it's interesting as hell. But Keanu Reeves is just a G as usual. So
he's looking real good.
Dude, he's just a baller. Did you guys see this trailer?
Yeah, I did. And what I took from the trailer is it kind of looks like they're not cloning bodies. They're cloning the human brain and like putting them in iRobots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which then brings me to the point where a lot of this movie kind of reminds me of iRobot
yeah.
with Will Smith. And I think maybe that's mostly just because of the way the robot looks. But then you see the robot like become sentient and start bitch slapping people all over the place. And it makes me wonder, is this going to be that traditional movie where the family realizes that they're robots, and then because of that they realize they're not human, they're something else, so they want to break free of Keanu, and then the company hunts them down and they decide that they're going to start murdering humans. And to me that seems, and obviously this is all wild speculation based on a 2-minute trailer, but to me that seems a little played out. I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Love that guy. That guy is cool for show. But
Okay.
I don't even think that means anything anymore.
I want them to malfunction. I just want them to malfunction and go on a murder spree.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think
Just like
Good
the
morning,
kids,
honey.
Just
Would you like syrup on your pancakes?
Don't
As
tell
she's
me.
holding a knife.
yeah. Seriously.
and she just pouring blood on the pancakes.
Yes.
Okay, can I just say though, man, like, so anytime I see a trailer with Keanu Reeves, I think I kind of screwed myself, man, because I listened to I'm promoting another freaking podcast, but the Nerdist podcast, and he was on an episode, and it was like an hour and 15 minutes, and it was really just like a journey into Keanu's mind and the way this guy thinks. He is out there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this guy is out there. So it's like you see him in these movies, right? And you're like, oh, he's such a cool dude, man. I want to hang out with him. But then you like hear him talking, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's out of his mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I had no idea. So I spoke to somebody at my job who actually, I found out, worked with Keanu Reeves on a film, and I was like, yo, man, what's the deal with this guy? Like, what's he like? And he's like, oh, he's super weird, man, but like, he's a really nice guy, but he has like moments. I'm like, well, you gotta, like, what do you mean by moments? He's like, well, like the other day, like on the set, he just came up to me and he's like, yo, hey man, I need something from my pens. And they were like, what? And he was like, I need something to put my pens in. And they were like, all right, man, we'll get you like, so they got him like a cup for his pens. He's like, thanks, man. Now I have something to put my pens in. So it's so weird. And then like he tells me that like I had no idea, but Ren, you pretty like you knew about this.
Yeah.
He's like a hardcore smoker. I didn't know that. And apparently he's bordering on like an alcoholic and
Hardcore smoker of
cigarettes.
But I'm sure he does
Cigarette.
weed too. But I mean, like, but he also the story that I just think needs to be told because it was amazing, and I've told Ren this already.
Oh, yeah.
And I've told you, he was on the set one day, and the dude that I was talking to said, oh, yeah, dude, he had like a really bad moment on the set. And I was like, what happened? He's like, well, one day he got hammered in his trailer, and he was like smoking up a storm, and like they were like, yo, man, like we need to start. Like they kept asking him to come out of the trailer, and he came out of the trailer like fucked up, and he was like, and he literally like had like a bottle in his hand. He just put up like 2 middle fingers to everybody in the set, and he was like, "Fuck you!" He's like, "You can't do this without me. Fuck you!" And he went into his trailer and like slept for like 9 hours. And they were like, "Well, he's right though. Like we can't do anything without him." So and then like he goes the next day, dude. He just like came out and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like nothing happened. But I mean, what a baller, but also a fucking asshole sometimes.
It sounds.
But I just love this guy, man.
It sounds to me like he smokes 2+ packs a day,
Yeah.
just to deal with himself.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a chance, like definitely check out the episode with Keanu Reeves. It's worth listening to. You really get to see, like, find out more about this guy.
Did he get anything
Check it out
for
if you haven't listened to it.
Did he get anything to keep his pencils in?
Yeah, it was like a
He
cup.
did.
No, he got something for his pens, but what about his pencils?
Probably the same thing, man.
I don't know, man. You can't keep the pencils with the pens.
He doesn't have pencils. You can erase those. That's fleeting. He likes permanence.
Free your mind.
Fuck lead.
So, oh man. Well, with that being said, that's what's going on with Keanu Reeves. I'm super excited to check out Replicas because he's just super watchable, and I can't wait to check it out, man. It looks interesting. So yeah, we'll be back in a second.
Hell yeah.
Supply and demand investing, where not all investments are created equal. Yo, Cooley, you want to play a game of Would You Rather?
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Would you rather invest in JetBlue at 0% or Delta Airlines at 2.44% over the course of 3 years?
Yo, JetBlue seats are mad comfortable. I'm going to go with JetBlue.
All right, guys. So Cooley chose JetBlue. So to check out the results, check out supplyanddomandinvesting.com/RedBeard.
Supply and demand investing is here to offer guidance when it comes to investing. Whether you want to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or exchange-traded funds, supply and demand investing is here to help.
And unlike the buy and hold method of investing of the past, supply and demand investing is comparative to any good sports team. There are good times to play offense by investing your hard-earned money in things like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, real estate, or international equity. And there are times to play defense by investing in fixed income, higher dividend-paying assets like bonds, CDs, or cash. So check out supplyanddomandinvesting.com/RedBeard.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic.
Yo, guys, believe it or not, I'm walking on air, man.
All right.
I never thought I could be this free.
These are lyrics.
Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? The greatest American hero is back, brother.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I'm
Nice.
souped.
All right.
Souped.
I thought you had moon boots on. I was like, I want moon boots. I
Yeah,
want to fly
yeah,
on air.
seriously.
Yo, it's the shit. I love it. I grew up on this shit. I don't know if any of you have ever watched the original, but The Greatest American Hero is one of the best 80s serialized shows on television.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I know of it. I wasn't a big watcher of it because I was young when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I mean, you're pumped. I can see it in your
Yeah.
face. So.
Yo,
So.
what about you, Jim?
I knew literally nothing about the show.
Okay, Ren?
I think the new one looks like garbage.
Looks like, how do you know it looks like garbage? They
Well,
haven't started
it's-
filming it yet.
It sounds like garbage, rather.
I haven't seen a trailer or anything.
Yo,
I do.
Ren be shitting on lots of shit.
It
I
sounds
was
like
just gonna
like,
say.
Ren,
I wanted
like,
to just
at
go.
least I wait for a trailer or some shit.
I
No.
wanted to say.
This
No.
dude,
What do you like?
when
No, I
we used
love-
to make
I love
good
her.
shit.
yeah, absolutely.
I love
Do you
her.
have a Netflix subscription? It's one out of every 75 shows is
is.
okay. The rest is all just garbage.
On Netflix?
On Netflix, it's all just to sit your fat
I'm
kid in
sorry,
front of
I-
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have the opposite experience on Netflix. Please,
Well, you're seeing.
please enlighten me
You're
because
seeing like the 1 in 75 being good because it's all your little like superhero
oh,
things.
she
And
doesn't
then
know.
there's,
Do you know? Do you know who you? Do you know me?
do you just like garbage?
I watch everything.
Yeah, I
You watch all the
I don't
Bollywood,
know
all the
how he
Korean
does
no, I-
shows, all the
I don't-
Japanese shows.
I don't love everything, but I watch everything.
Yeah, but you don't love everything. I'm talking about
Right.
there being a lot of trash on Netflix.
Right, but I'm saying like it's not 1 in 75 that's good though. Like
I
think
obviously-
Netflix rocks that shit.
So tell me why this is garbage, though. Why?
Okay, one, the girl's just a Kristen Ritter bootleg bitch. She looks so bland and uninteresting. Every photo of her just looks like the second after she farted.
Yo, is she looking at the same bitch?
This girl?
The Hannah Simone. Yeah, look at her. She's just like
She's nothing like Kristen Ritter. That is not Kristen Ritter.
she's like like if you wanted Gal Gadot, but then Kristen Ritter popped out. It's like one of those penny presses, and you put it on Gal Gadot,
God.
but it's just Kristen like Ritter
I see
comes
exactly what you're talking about when you said that. You wanted Gal Gadot, but just got Kristen Ritter. Oh, God.
She's just like a C-list looking broad, and
Oh my goodness.
well, you're a dude, so you're like, oh, fuck anything. You said you'd fuck Jennifer Lawrence, and she looks like a fat, gross maid. Like, she just looks terrible.
She does not look
I
like
didn't
a
say I'd
fat,
fuck her. I just
gross
said I wouldn't
maid.
kick her out of bed.
All right. I mean, I'm with you on that. I don't think she's unattractive.
Exactly. I'm saying I've seen unattractive.
I'm saying we pay these women, though, to look good. Like,
Yo, I'm saying Jennifer Lawrence looked all right, mother. When she had her clothes ripped off. I'm just saying, like,
my
it was
God.
disturbing what was actually happening. But I mean, Jennifer. Hey,
I like that
Even
you
though-
focused on that. You were like, yeah.
even though I hated that movie, it was garbage. I honestly, even though a lot of people say she was a horrible friggin' Mystique, I still didn't have a problem when she was on screen as Mystique. That's all I'm gonna say. But listen, I mean,
Greatest American Hero.
But hold on, but because she's how she looks is why you think the show's gonna be garbage?
No, it's just because it just seems like another, like, ABC one season kind of show. Like, we're going to do a reboot, but we're not going to put a lot of money into it. We're going to get an actress who's just going to be meh. And it is what it is. It's a one season show.
I don't see that.
One season as of now, though. They might do more of it.
I'm saying it's going to be bad where it's like the ratings are terrible, so it's discontinued.
Oh, okay. Okay. I missed you on that. Okay, I get what you're saying. So it's going to be once. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
So the original, right? It's about a dude. He's a teacher at a high school. Gets this super suit that was meant for somebody else.
Yeah.
And he loses the instructions because there are instructions included, and it was given to. It was supposed to be going to like this FBI agent. And it was given to an Earthling to give them the ability to like protect the planet, right? It was something that it was a gift from aliens,
Yeah.
right? So he gets this super suit, loses the instructions, and when he puts it on, he gets these abilities. He can fly. He's super strong. He's bulletproof. He's kind of like Superman in a way, but he's like mad goofy and like. Can't control the thing. He doesn't know how to fly because he doesn't have the instructions. He jumps up in the air and he flies like a goofball. And it's like it was funny, but it was also like really good superhero action and like he actually like helped these kids out a lot. And like he had this group of kids that were like they were like the loser kids, like the sweat hogs, if you will. And like they all looked up to him and he like gave them something to strive for and made them into better people. And at the same time, like made the world a better place as the greatest American hero. So they're rebooting it now, and you have Hannah Simone, who I think is actually not a bad actress. She's funny, and she looks good. Those are three things that you just said, Ren, that are not true. But I am saying that they're true. So that's the power of opinion, and... And I will say that I think this can be a very special show.
It sounds to me like they are going to be doubling down on the comedic aspect of this show.
Yes.
And I do think, I don't remember her name, I feel terrible, but the main character that they
Hannah
have
Simone.
chosen, Hannah Simone, thank you. I do think Hannah Simone is attractive, but on the other side, I feel like they chose the less funny of all the characters from A New Girl.
Yeah.
So it's hard to gauge what she's going to bring to the table.
All right. I mean, like I said, I was never a fan of the original, but I'm willing to check out this show and see, what happens. I mean, it was never something that was on my radar, nor did I really know the original show well, but I'd check it out, man.
She has to be a lead, though. The thing is, she has to carry this show as the lead person, and I just think it's going to flop.
It's one of those shows where, there's a lot of stuff that gets released on TV that flops, you know what I mean? But, I just feel like they throw stuff out there to see what happens. Like, can I be honest with you? I think that the show Scandal, I'm surprised that that's still on TV. As good as it is, it's also, like, it's super cheesy, like, drama soap opera-ish. You know what I mean? Like, I call the endings to most episodes before they happen because they're that easy to guess. But the only reason why it's still on is because, you have great actresses in it, and it's also Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
And she's basically got her whole network of shows with Grey's Anatomy and, How to Get Away
Kerry
with
Washington
Murder.
is a bad bitch. She looks
is,
real
man.
good.
But because of that, it's based off her network that she's hosting, so
But
it's
here's
kind of
one
like
of the-
a win. It's a win-win for her.
Here's one of the biggest reasons I think it's going to succeed, though, is because of the team that's behind it. They're the ones that are behind Fresh Off the Boat, which I freaking love.
Not a fan, dude.
It's a dope ass show.
It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
think
fan.
it
It's
sucks.
all based on a nationality and making fun of the stereotype of that. They're going to have to base this
Y'all
on a
don't
girl in
want
a spacesuit.
you must not watch the show because it has nothing to do with their nationality. That entire show is just about a family living in the 80s.
I don't know,
Fresh
man.
Off the Boat?
yeah,
they
are-
make fun of the stereotype the whole entire show.
That's
Even
not
the
true.
writers and the actresses and actors
You guys
themselves.
are so white.
Not true. There are some episodes that focus on it, like because they have like Chinese New Year or something like that, because it's something that's actually interesting that they can do that's funny. And there was actually an episode that had to do with why they choose American names. They Americanize their names to make it easier for people to.
They had a whole episode based on the fact that Chinese people hand wash dishes, and they were like, "What the hell is a washing dishwasher?"
That was
like,
that wasn't because of that. They had an episode where the mother didn't want them using the dishwasher because it was going to waste electricity. Because the mother's a frugal mother. It's just like Terry Crews. She's frugal.
Yeah, but that's also
It's just like Terry Crews and Everybody Hates Chris.
that's a stereotype, though.
Yeah, they're
bro.
making
Like,
fun of the stereotype. These writers are all Asian because they're like,
They also do that. Not to cut you off. They also do that with Blackish.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
Yo, Blackish, I
I
watched.
knew that was gonna happen.
Blackish I watched, and Blackish I stopped watching after the first season. I've been told that I should go back to it because they changed that.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about like giving it another shot, but yeah, I mean that's absolutely true. But I mean I've watched Fresh Off the Boat for a long time, and there's actually people that I know that and this sounds like this is the worst thing that I can say. I know Asian people that watch the fucking show, and they don't think that it's like stereotypical. They couldn't watch Blackish. The Asian friends that I have couldn't watch Blackish because Blackish was all about stereotypes. This one they could watch because they said it has nothing to do with that. And a lot of the shit that they did on the show are actually true and not about stereotypes.
You said that this show is going to be on Netflix. I almost feel
No,
like...
I don't think it's going to be on Netflix. It's going to be on ABC.
Oh, it's going to be on ABC.
Yeah.
Then that completely changes anything that I was about to say.
So, it's funny, though, because it's like you say that, man, but like that was my issue with Blackish, not to get on a whole nother thing, but it's like I can't listen to George Lopez because he is the most racist comedian when it comes to white people. It's like, dude, I get it. Like, you're Latino and like you want to talk shit about white people, but like every single time he fucking comes on, it's like, yo, what's up? I'm George Lopez, blah, 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 whatever I'm going to talk about. But here's the thing about white people. I'm like, nah, fuck this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, that's the thing. But like, you got to be I feel like the sign of a good comedian is to be funny about a lot of things, not just one thing. And that's what he is to me. And like, and I feel like that's the kind of vibe that I got when I watched the first season of Blackish. I was like, man, this is getting old, like very quick, to the point where it's not funny anymore. It's just annoying, and that's why I stopped watching it. And I like Anthony Anderson. I really do.
Right.
And I like Lawrence Fishburne. They're great actors. But like,
with Fresh Off the Boat, it's like you got episodes that are straight up like there was an episode about the Shaquille O'Neal fighting game.
Yeah.
The whole episode was about that. Like it's just about a family living in the 90s. And like, yes, because they're Asian, there are some Asian things that they throw into it, but it's not like focused on that. It's not like Blackish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch the show, so I don't know, but I mean, I'll leave it at this. I'll just say that, I'm sure that you're right to some aspect, but I feel like if you're not familiar with it and you've only watched a couple of the first like episodes when it came out, like it was primarily like a Asian stereotype, like in every joke, to the point where I was like, oh, it's just like Blackish. I think I'm done. It wasn't for me. Plus there were other things on TV that I just wanted to watch more than that. I think that's what it really came down to.
Right.
But like I said, I mean, back to the original thought, definitely Wormhole podcast. I think, I will check out that show. I'll give it a shot.
At least check out the first one. I'll let you borrow the DVD. I have the whole series on DVD.
All right, word.
Yeah.
Word.
Because I don't have it on Blu-ray. I don't know why, but
now everything's going to be downloadable anyway, man. So, but in other news, speaking of Netflix and series and stuff, I mean, Kung Fury was a huge half-hour special or half-hour show movie that basically turned into a phenomenon on Netflix, where it was just a half-hour thing about parodying everything in the 80s, which I thought was hilarious. And it
was absolutely ridiculous.
It was phenomenal, to the point where like the beginning of the film is like your screen looks like it's a VHS tracking. You know what I mean? Because it's just, and it says tracking on the screen. I mean, I thought that was brilliant. But down to the clothes, down to the characters, down to the stupid lines, the one-liners, and like everybody is just like a stereotype, the traditional like jock, and then the guy who knows karate, but he's, it was just great. So, but the big thing is that they're actually making a full-length feature film about this, and Michael Fassbender is set to actually play the lead, which I'm a big fan of Michael Fassbender. When I found out that he was doing this, I was kind of surprised. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, man. Like, that's cool. But why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Michael Fassbender's like a 2-time nominee Academy Award. Like, you're doing Kung Fury. But I think he's smart, though, because he knows a lot of people are going to watch this, and it's going to do better than Assassin's Creed.
Yo, that's easy, though.
Yeah, I know it is.
That's mad easy.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But
like, who went to? I think you might. Are you the only one that went to go see that?
I saw it with Jim, and we both hated it.
Yeah, so
Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
So you and Jim.
awful.
Yeah.
Who
We
else went
both
to go see that.
I think that was it. So, I mean, Ren.
It was only in the theaters for 2 hours.
So
Yeah.
based on that information, even if nobody else but everybody at this table watches it, it's already going to have more viewers.
Hell yeah, man. And you aren't against Michael Fassbender. Does it have anything to do with his looks? Because I know that you find him attractive. You've said it before.
he's super sultry.
Yeah.
But I think for the main character, it's a weird choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super weird choice because when you think 80s, you think of over-exaggerated things like, hey, and seeing Michael Fassbender, who played like Magneto and other like very stern and like, I can't even do Magneto.
Did you find something that said what role he was going to play in it? Because I didn't see.
It just said lead role. He's cast as a lead role. But with that being
David
said,
Hasselhoff's going to be in it too.
as I was going to say, I think he knows it's going to be a joke. I mean, because it's putting him in a lead role, I think just makes sense because of the people that are going to be surrounding him. They've become parodies of themselves. You got David Hasselhoff. Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in this, which he has to be because he's an 80s icon. But I mean, I just feel like putting him in a lead role makes everybody else look more ridiculous, which I think is what they're going for.
I guess so. Like, Fassbender has the look, but Tom Hiddleston makes more sense as far as personality-wise to me.
I'm surprised they didn't bring anybody in from the original, which is what made this what it was.
I think
Janet Sandberg's going to be in it. He's reprising his role, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. Yes.
But not everybody. Not everybody's coming back.
Well, we don't know yet. I mean, there's more that's going to come out about this as time goes on.
Yeah, it's in talks right now. So.
Yeah, they're in the middle of getting everything together and getting ready to start pre-production and shit. So, once it gets rolling, there's going to be a lot of news coming out about it, and we're going to be able to keep up on that and let everybody know what's going on as we find out. But as of right now, the only thing that I was souped about was that He was going to be in it. Fassbender and what's his name there? Hasselhoff and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about this.
And Sandberg, David Sandberg as well.
Because Kung Fury really was one of those little things on Netflix that I watched because I was bored and I wanted to kill 30 minutes. And I ended up falling in love with it.
Right.
I thought it was a great caricature of 80s nostalgia. And the fact that they're coming out with a movie is excitement personified for me.
Right.
I can't wait to see them expand on this. I hope it stays in that jokey, campy vein that the short is. I love that Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. I will say Michael Fassbender, respect him as an actor. I'm just a small amount leery because I've never really seen him in a comedic role. So I don't know what to expect from him. And that's not to say that people can't do that. Jeff Daniels was not a comedian in any way, shape, or form, and then he did Dumb and Dumber and blew it away.
I can tell that he has it in him though. Like from the stuff that he's been in, there have been like moments where he's had like, those like, those comedic like one-liners or whatever.
Has
or
he
like,
had an SNL episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
was
he
thinking
hosted
that.
SNL.
Was he
at
all
one
right
point.
on it? Does anyone remember?
That's not a
Wow,
good thing.
that's
That
not a
no
Yeah,
one
that we
remembers
don't
that.
remember. We
That's
weren't
not a
like,
good thing.
oh man, remember that funny joke?
But then again, there's a lot of people that have been on SNL that I forget about, and it's not because they're not good at what they do. It's that
SNL sucks sometimes.
Sometimes it does. Like there are times where they knock it out the park, and the writing is amazing. And
My favorite episode of all time is Ryan Phillippe, and he is not a funny person, but that whole episode killed it.
It's all about the writing and what the skits are, and if they don't capitalize on certain things and they don't actually give you a great skit, then it's all about that. And like you're not gonna have a memorable episode for that actor or
Right.
singer or whoever it is. I mean, I know what's his name there, 24 Karat Gold. What's his name? 24.
Oh, Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, 24 Karat Magic. Yeah, that dude.
yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, that dude, Bruno Mars, had like one of my favorite episodes.
Well, it
Really?
was like he was singing at Pandora, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent.
I mean,
liked-
I will say, but you got people like Christoph Waltz.
Oh my God, I was
on
just
there.
gonna say that with the Jesus Christ Unchained.
Yeah, I mean, like he was, but even with that, even though like some of the stuff he did on SNL was funny, I felt like he was so underused. He's
Yeah.
such a talented actor.
Oh,
Like,
he's
do something
so
with this
good.
guy,
Right.
So, and I think that's possibly what. Yeah, who knows? I
Yeah.
don't even know if Michael Fassbender was on SNL. I honestly don't know.
No, I agree with you, Cooley, though, is that with Saturday Night Live, you have a short time for preparation. You have these writers who find out who the host is, and then it's like, oh, shit, we got to try and come up with stuff for the host
Right.
that we can work with. And if you don't see anything comedic from that guy, it's hard to start writing comedic roles for someone that is not known for comedy.
You know what's funny? I think it's all when they do things that are completely unexpected. For instance, one of the things I can revert as an example or go back to would be David S. Pumpkins with Tom Hanks. Is that thing was so weird that Tom Hanks didn't want to do it. He like turned it down. He's like, "Can you just give this to somebody else? Like, I don't want to do it." And they were like, "No, like it's gonna work. Like you should do it. We want you to do it." If they had given that to anybody else, it wouldn't have worked. But it's because it's Tom Hanks, and 90% of people know Tom Hanks as a serious actor and forget that Tom Hanks got his start doing comedy. And like Tom Hanks is a hilarious actor. So like when he took this on, his like comedic sense came out and he actually made this really funny and made it his own. And I've been saying for a long time that they need to actually, Tom Hanks needs to stop doing like Spielberg shit like The Post. Like, it's great, man. Like, cool, we get it. Like, you're a phenomenal actor and you want to tell a story that counts. But like, dude, like it's okay to step out of that zone for a little bit and like do something funny. You know, because I feel like every time I see a Tom Hanks movie, it's like this is just a guy looking for an Academy Award. You know, like do something funny, man.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, at the same time, the minute you go down that rabbit hole, everybody wants to cast you as a comedic actor.
Not necessarily, though.
Yes.
No, because once they found out that he was actually Forrest Gump, They were like, okay, dramatic roles. So he could flip. Like, nobody's going to forget that he's a phenomenal, like, dramatic actor, and he has all these Academy Awards to prove it. Just because he does a couple comedies, people aren't going to forget that he's also amazing at drama. Like, they'll be able to cast him as something else. But I feel like, dude, like, use the not everybody can be funny, and I mean, and this is just going back to, who's to say Michael Fassbender can't be funny? We don't know yet. But with that being said, we'll be back in a second. So, next up is something I really want to talk about. You can probably hear how excited I am in my voice. So everybody who listens to this fucking podcast knows that I am obsessed with Predator and Alien. We just don't talk about it a lot. But anyway, I was on YouTube today and trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this movie. And it's set to be released in August and then September. So who the hell knows? Because nobody that is in charge of this movie has their shit together, apparently. But anyway, I came upon this YouTube video where they explained pretty much in detail like how this movie is going to go and the plot, and everything that they talked about got me more and more pissed off, because, and I think everybody at this table can relate to it. And, you guys, Ren and Cooley especially, have been very verbal about having somebody take something that you're passionate about in comics and then shitting all over it and not doing it right.
Yep.
And that is exactly what's happening with this. I've been a big fan of the Alien versus Predator comics. I've read all of them, and so me and my cousin have. And when the first one came out, we were psyched, and I left the theater like wanting to kill somebody. And the second one came out, and it was probably a little bit better, but it was still horrible. And now they're doing, they did another Predators movie called Predators, which Adrian Brody was in. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't that good either. And I was hoping that with this movie called The Predator, Shane Black is actually directing it. Shane Black he played Hawkins in the original Predator.
He was the first one to go. The
first one to go. So the fact that he was actually taking on this project gave me a little bit of hope that it was going to be done right. But the script was not written by him. But I know that he actually, obviously knows about the script and how things are going to go down because he's the director. But I can't believe if what this guy on YouTube said is true and how this movie's going to go, I can't believe that he's actually allowing this to happen. I have so much on my head right now that I don't even know where to start. You guys kind of have an outside perspective, so just throw some stuff out that jumped out at you, and I will respond to it, and we'll just talk about it, because I don't even know where to begin.
Well, do we want to prepare people for what you've heard on this?
I mean, these are spoilers, guys. I mean, like, we're going to be talking about, like, spoilers, but nobody technically really knows if this is the way that it's going to go, but there was a script that leaked online, and I'm assuming this is what this guy's going off of. So with that being said,
this isn't really a spoiler warning. It's more just like a fucking warning, like a warning of what's to come. Like, don't worry about getting spoiled, because you're probably not gonna go and see this if you're a hardcore Predator fan.
You're gonna go see it, but then you're gonna be like very disappointed if this is the way it goes.
I don't know if I'm gonna go see it. Are you gonna go see it anyway?
I have to see it, bro. I have to see it. I'm gonna see it probably multiple times.
Because you know what happened when they did Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
I boycotted that shit.
Right. I mean, I have to see this just because I mean, like, technically I'm supporting Shane Black, but I'm also probably gonna like not support him and do some weird shit on his Twitter if this movie's that bad. But whatever. So go have at it.
Okay,
let's do this.
So here are some things that we found out is supposed to be in the new Predator movie, which is they are going to lean towards comedy in this movie. Yeah. That there's going to be predator animal hybrids, that they're going to
multiple.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's going to be multiple. Yeah, exactly.
Different ones, spider predators.
Because Predator was
And
fucking
dog
hilarious
predators.
in the
Dog
first two
predators.
movies.
And
So
that
let's make
they're-
it funny.
And that they're going to befriend. There's going to be predators that are like living amongst the humans, and they're friends with them.
Defectors.
You're going to have predators speaking English.
Yeah.
So, well, no, they're not speaking English.
But, well,
There's
it's
going
through
to
a
be
translator, like Star
translator,
Trek.
Which, yeah, okay. They're going to translate. So,
like
okay.
a Stephen Hawking kind of
well,
thing.
apparently, like, this kid that's in the movie is, like, autistic. And he's super good at, like, learning languages. That's what they said in this thing.
Yes.
And because of that, he acts as a translator for the predators. Because I guess you're autistic and you're smart, very smart, you can translate a language that no one knows. Like, that's what they're basically saying. Like, you know how some people, because they're autistic, they're very, very smart in other ways? That's what they're saying in this trailer. They're like, oh, because of his autism, this part of his brain is where he excels, right? And he's super smart, and he's the translator for this, which made no sense to me. I just don't understand how that even makes sense.
So it sounds to me like you're pissed off that an autistic person is in this show.
No, I'm not pissed at all. I just feel like that's a lame excuse for how the translator happens.
So there's going to be a lot of comedy in this movie. There's going to be predators using human weapons.
What's that? What the hell is that?
Puking.
Am I not supposed to talk over this?
Oh, somebody was throwing.
Well,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
So there's going to be. They show predators riding tanks. They said that a predator is going to have like a submachine gun.
So okay, so a lot of things being mentioned. Let's take a step back. So first of all, so first of all, let me. The whole thing about the translation is a little weird to me, right? If you're gonna have a machine do the translation, like, fine, like, I can accept that. But when you say that there is a child who is going, I'm gonna talk about it. There is a child who is autistic, and he is. They said that he's very smart with being able to decipher languages, and this is how they translate what the predator's saying. Made no sense to me. I don't care what kind of person this is, you're translating a language that no one knows. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like that's not going to be explained. And that's one plot hole. The other thing too, is they have, the predators there's two of them that they've befriended, that these people are working with, that they lock up. And then at night they allow the predators to go out and hunt, to kind of like basically fulfill their need to hunt, right? And then I guess they just decide to like come back into the cage at the zoo at the end of the night and whatever. I mean, that made no sense to me. They also they sit on top of tanks and fire machine guns, which made no sense to me.
Yeah,
even
they
though
still have their cannons.
Even though they have plasma cannons,
Yeah.
and they said that the guy goes, and I guess the plasma cannons weren't powerful enough that they have to use machine guns. They're using advanced alien technology that is not better than a machine gun.
Right.
So
They're like, shit, this machine gun's really nice.
yeah, and this is supposed to take place in modern day world, and there's just so many things that when he throws out all these different plot lines, I just don't see how this is all going to meet up to make any kind of sense. It just seems like a friggin' trash can fire.
I want this guy to be wrong so bad.
I'm hoping that he is. Like, I'm hoping that like a lot of this shit is wrong, because I just can't see these. I can't see a predator on a tank. I can't do it. He's on a tank
I saw
firing
it.
a machine gun.
I saw it.
I'm hoping that's, like I said before, I'm hoping that's just like some dude's picture where they're hanging out on the set, like, and somebody took like a goof photo. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm hoping.
Is this a Predator movie, or is this like Wayne's brother scary movie?
Dude,
Predator
I'm telling
movie?
you. I mean, that's honestly what it seems like. I don't know.
The first thing that I thought of when I heard about all of this stuff, when I heard about the comedy and that aliens are going to be using modern day weapons, and just the whole fact that in this movie, the world is aware of predators, and they've built an Area 52 to kind of harness their weaponry and use it to combat them. You know what this instantly made me think of, which makes me feel so bad for you?
Can I guess? Can I guess?
You can.
Is it the freaking scene where the aliens in Independence Day are shooting the guns?
It reminds me so much of just Independence Day resurgence in general.
Ooh,
and I love Independence Day, but Independence Day resurgence ruined everything. It killed the franchise, and that's the only thing that's going on in my head is they are turning the Predator into Independence Day, and they are flat out going to kill this franchise.
You know, but I think that's what frustrates me is like, dude, you got the dude who was in the original Predator. He knows why it worked. He's seen Predator 2. You know why these AVP movies failed. You were in the movie that worked and is an iconic movie. Why are you doing it so differently and intentionally fucking it up? That makes no sense to me. If you're in the movie and you were there when they filmed it, you should have all of the reasons in the world to do this the correct way. But you are shitting on it.
Yeah, it's like, yo, Shane, you know what we should do? We should have like one Predator, and he shows up and he's like hunting down like the Rock. You know what I mean? And Shane's just like, nah, B, nah. You know what we're gonna do? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Predators on tanks. We're going to have Predators with M60s. We're going to have motherfuckers wearing Predator masks that work for them because they work on human being faces. We're going to have dogs that get brain damage and actually befriend the human autistic child that can listen and understand predators and talk to them. Yo, this shit's going to be off the fucking hook. You down?
Throw in a few laughs
like,
for me, too.
Pass me the motherfucking joint you're smoking, Shane Black, please, because I want to be down.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it sounds like a trash can fire. And like, Ren, what do you think, man? I really want to know what you think because you didn't even get through the whole YouTube video. But like, seriously, what's going on in your head? Because I know that I just really need to hear what you think about this.
Straight garbage, like straight garbage. I couldn't make it through the video mostly because the droning British narrator.
Yeah.
But it was just like a weird fan fiction. Like if you asked a 12-year-old who'd seen one like Predator movie, like, oh, what would you do? And he's like, oh, someone like me who has trouble learning, but he befriends aliens, and the aliens have a tank, and he has lots of protectors around him, like lots of big dudes with guns. And like, that's what it sounded like. I was like, nope, all of this sounds terrible, and it was written by a 12-year-old. Like, not
That's
interested.
exactly what it sounds like, man. I mean, I think the other thing that really bothers me is like so just going back to what I said, like you have Predator 1, it's a staple, right? Like everybody loves that movie. It's fucking awesome. And then you have Predator 2 with Danny Glover, which is actually a really good Predator movie. It was done well. Kevin Peter Hall played the Predator in both 1 and 2, and then he passed away because he got AIDS from a blood transfusion. So sucks. Right?
Wow, throwing that out
Just
there.
saying, that's why he's dead. That's why he hasn't done Predator.
AIDS,
right?
the viral Predator.
He was also he did Monsters. He played Harry and the Hendersons. Like this guy was like legit, man.
He was the original Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he was, and he was super talented. And he died. And the only time you'll actually see him in a film is at the very end of the first Predator movie. He is the black guy in the helicopter that sees the explosion. That's Kevin Peter Hall's cameo. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you have a guy who has been in these movies and knows why they work and chooses to do the exact opposite. And I think what really frustrates me is they put so much time and energy into doing the Alien films the right way to some extent, but they take no sense of they don't give a shit about this. And I think that's what bothers me. It's like the Alien franchise is great because of Sigourney Weaver, and I get that. But you also had two great actors in these other Predator movies, and this could be a really good movie, and they just don't seem to care, and I don't understand it.
I got two things that are just throwing me for a fucking loop right now. One, he also says that people in the movie refer to these creatures as predators.
Right.
Why?
No, I mean, it makes
Because
sense.
they've seen the original movies.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying, right? Because they were never called predators before. They were just like aliens. They were monsters that were hunting humans, and like nobody called it, oh, the predator's after me. Like, it was like you just had this humanoid creature chasing you down, and that was the whole movie, but it was called the Predator.
I mean, I guess the only reasoning of that is because, like, yeah, they're an apex hunter. They are after you. You are the prey. They are predators. Like, I get it. But it's a little cheesy to actually call them by that name.
Right, in the movie. And then also on top of that, they've obviously found a way to communicate with them. They have two predators like that are working with them. So they've communicated with these things, and they have to know what they're called. So to continue to call them predators is the same thing as people calling Native Americans Indians. You know what I mean?
honestly feel like it would have been so easy. Like, dude, you look at one of the comics. Look at one of the comics, and the predator breed is called Yatuja. It's Yatuga. Yatuja.
There you go.
That's what it is. It's the Yatuja clan, and they literally could not figure that out or use that like at all.
Right.
It's a weird friggin' name, but I mean, I would know that stupid shit. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, you couldn't have used that instead of predators.
Right. But then the other thing is that hold on, fuck, I lost it.
I don't know.
I had
We'll add it to this. It's
I had
fine.
two really good things. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. The name of this movie is called The Predator.
Yeah, even though there's multiple predators.
Yeah, which makes you think that it's going to be like when I heard the title, when you said the title a while ago, I was like, "Oh shit, we're getting back to basics."
Yeah, like one predator.
Yeah, you got
that
one
comes
predator
in and like fuck shit up.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden now it's like it's not the Predator, it's like a bunch of fucking predators in this movie. Like, why are you throwing me off with the title?
Yeah, it's funny that I mean, you guys heard this as well as I did, that they actually have already used this film and done like test audiences for shit. And I guess like Predator fans like either really liked the comedy or like straight out hated it. And I feel like if you are a fan of any of these movies, this cannot be funny. Like the only way that it can be funny is if you use the same timing that Bill Paxton had in Predator 2. He was funny because he was an overconfident asshole cop. You actually find out he's a nice guy, but he was just like, he was a dumbass. And that's why he was funny, right? But I mean, you throw in some stuff like that, fine. I mean, I get that. But like saying that there's a lot of comedy in this film, there's no place for it. There's just no place for it. I don't know, man. I watched this, I got super disappointed. I really agree with Jim that I think it's going to be the end of the franchise. You know what I mean?
I really wish that I'm wrong. I really do.
I don't think you're wrong, man. I think this is it, dude. I think after this, they're not going to do another one. I mean, think about the Alien movies. They've made 4 with Resurrection, and then they also did the first one, Prometheus and then Covenant. So that's 6 movies they've done. They've done 2 Predator movies that were great. AVP 1 and 2, that's 4. Both were shit, and now they're going to do, and they did Predators, that was 5, which was, and now they're going to do 6. So technically they've had the same amount, but at least there's some storyline with the other ones that you can follow. It's not this just this disjointed pile of shit. So
I'm surprised Disney didn't shut this shit down.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Because they own it now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I think this was in pre-production before they actually took.
But I'm thinking that if this fails, because Disney now owns the rights, it may not be the end of it. It may not.
You know what's funny though? It's like I look at this, I look at the cast, and I'm just kind of like, there's Jake Busey, right? Jake Busey is the son of Gary Busey. Or brother, I think.
No, it's the son.
It's the son.
The son of Gary Busey, who played Peter Keyes in the second movie, who was aware that the Predator existed and was there to try to capture him. So I'm wondering how this guy comes into play, and that I find interesting. You also got Thomas Jane. I'm actually a fan of Thomas Jane. I didn't mind his interpretation of the Punisher. As awful a movie as Deep Blue Sea was, I enjoyed his character in Deep Blue Sea. I liked the series Hung that was pretty good. I think he's a pretty good actor. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with this. Yvonne Strahovski, she was great in Dexter. They ended with her in Dexter. She was excellent. I think she'll do a great job.
She was awesome in Chuck.
Right. You also got
Chuck was great.
Keegan-Michael Key, I think, is where the comedy's going to come in. He's probably he's probably gonna have those one-liners, whatever. But
Yvonne can do it too.
She can.
She was a comedic actress in Chuck.
Right. And then you got Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn, whatever. A lot of people don't like her. I thought she was good in Newsroom. I don't have a big problem with her. I feel like you hate her, Ren. I think that she can do. I'm interested to see what she does with this. When I saw that she was in it, I was like, oh, okay.
I don't mean to derail you. Olivia Munn seems like that person that's very likable in the movies she's in, but she has to be like an incredible bitch in real life.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how she comes across to me.
I mean, I guess I don't know.
I've heard that she's actually like fun to hang with. Like,
well, she used to be on G4, man. She used to do like video game shit and like comics. Like she would interview people. She interviewed oh my god, dude, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill.
But again,
it was very hit or miss, like give or take. Like it could be any girl.
And
it's
again,
just a girl position.
Yeah, and that's in the spotlight. I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
So,
no, but I've read like from different like folks that she's actually like a pretty down to earth person that she's just like a gamer chick, like she's just a nerd.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing you got going for this movie is you got Alfie Allen in it, he's in Game of Thrones. The guy that like doesn't have his dick anymore, like that guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not a bad actor. He's all right. He's kind of annoying in Game of Thrones, but that's his character. Edward James Olmos. I don't even understand what he's going to be in this film, but I'm interested to see like how he plays in. I can just see him as maybe like a scientist or some shit. But then the guy that sticks out to me that I never would have expected to be in this is Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah,
this guy is like killing it right now in This Is Us. He was in The People versus OJ.
Killed it. Best character in
he
that show.
Signed up for this before his acclaim.
I guarantee you're right. And I would have like when I saw him in this, I was like, oh shit, well this movie might actually be good. But I hope this doesn't derail his career.
No.
And I know it won't,
no.
but I mean, it's going to be one of those things like he probably filmed this and is like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
no, he is too strong of a talent to lose out because of this film.
Yeah, I mean, People versus OJ, phenomenal, and I can't say enough good things about him. And This Is Us he's excellent.
This movie's not going to tank anybody's career.
No,
this movie's going to tank Predator, if anything.
Yeah. I agree with Cooley on that.
Like I think all the people that are lined up in this film, like nobody's gonna say Edward James Olmos is awful because he was in this film. Nobody's gonna say that Sterling K. Brown sucks now because he was in this movie. Nobody's gonna say Key isn't funny or doesn't need to be in anything else because he was in this and it failed. It's gonna be what it is, and if it sucks, they're just not gonna work on Predator anytime soon.
go ahead.
If it ruins anybody's career, it's going to be that autistic kid.
He's apparently this guy, Jacob Tremblay, this kid is supposed to be super talented.
Oh, it's Jacob Tremblay?
Yeah, that's who he is. Jacob Tremblay. He's a Canadian actor.
Who the fuck is Jacob Tremblay?
You know who he is.
I
You'll
honestly
see.
don't know him from anything. But I'm looking at a couple of movies. He was the kid in that movie Room that came out in 2015.
He's one of those
yeah.
the media loves him. Like he has a Twitter and his parents pimp him out on the Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going for him. I mean, he's had a pretty successful career so far as a child actor.
Oh, that's who he is.
Yeah.
So that's the kid from the kid with the messed up face.
Wonder.
Wonder. Yeah.
His face.
Yep. That face. Yep. Mm-hmm. Did you put that all up in my face for? Would you get all mad close with it?
So, but regardless, I this is the only thing the last thing I can end on right now is that there has been apparently, like I said earlier, a script that leaked online, and I usually do not do this, but I am going to probably try to find it and actually read it, just because I really need to just I need to look at this man and see if this guy on YouTube had his shit together, if he was just spouting out crap. But hopefully he's wrong, but he seemed to know what he was talking about. Plus, he has a British accent, which makes him sound more fucking believable. But anyway, I don't know. Predator, hopefully it doesn't suck. Cheers to that, Jim. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to this fucking pile of shit that I was talking about?
It's going to be trash. It's going to be absolute trash. Trailer park trash.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
It felt terrible watching my beloved movie Independence Day go down the shitter with resurgence.
Yeah.
And I don't want to wish that on anybody who's a fan of something, and that's...
No, the wishing stage is past, brother.
It's
I'm
past.
very scared for you.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like...
If this gets a cinema opening, I will be so surprised. If this just isn't bought by like Netflix or Hulu as like a TV shit show movie, I'll be so surprised.
I mean, it just...
If that's the case, you guys are all invited over to watch me fall into sadness as I watch this.
It's like Star Wars.
I'm probably going to need friends around me when it's over. So I'm just going to say.
It's like Star Wars Episode 4 shut down all the trash compactors on the detention level trash. That's what it is.
Yeah. I got you, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, with that being said, ending on a friggin' positive note, that's it this week for the RedBeard Podcast. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about?
I'm good.
Word.
Don't contract Shaggus.
What's Shaggus?
What is Shaggus? No, hold on.
I know what
podcast extension.
I know what haggis is. It's a Scottish
bread.
No, it's not a bread. It's not a bread.
It's
Sorry.
not a bread.
Oh, it's not
We'll
a
talk
bread.
about that after.
Look it up, bro. Oh, it's gross.
Shaggus is a terrible disease, contracted mostly in Latin America through assassin bugs. So
Well, that's
Assassin
good.
bugs.
That's
Look it
vague
up.
as shit.
I gotta look up assassin bugs. That shit sounds dope.
it's terrible. They suck your blood and then they shit in the wound.
Yo, I love them.
You don't.
Assassin
I'm gonna
bugs,
make a
dude?
movie
That
about
sounds
them.
like
Did
my
they
last
also take down
boyfriend.
the Templars?
Yo, I want to write some shit about them, yo.
So, all right. Well, with
Write a
that being
movie.
said, yeah, don't contract that shit that Jim knows
Yo,
a lot about.
The assassin
And,
bugs movie sounds more interesting than the Predator.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Later. Thanks for listening to this episode of the RedBeard Podcast. And remember, please make sure to like us on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes to make sure you get all of our latest videos and episodes. And you can always find us and comment on anything we've talked about or what you'd like to hear at redbeardpodcast.com.